Hey, how you doing?
Mic on.
Our guy just pulling it out, man. Yeah, man. How you doing?
Did he say hi?
No, he's running around here in the theater. He's got no love. He's right on the other side of the door. That's what you get for. That's what you get for not saying hi, fuckers.
Ah, shit.
That was quick.
Yeah, that was quick. That was a good game. Let's get Arxon in here now. Oh, you already got him?
Yep.
Sweetness. I like that R700 skin. Pretty slick.
I have that one.
Oh, no, no. Oh. Yep.
I like my M200 skin.
Ooh.
Ooh. Fancy.
Mic off. Mic on.
It's storming.
Sweetness.
Where are we going?
Spaceport. Always spaceport.
Selection begins in 3, 2, 1.
That's where I was about ready to go. Evil. You know what? I'll go here. You guys do anything fun today? Oh my lord, I'm gonna get pissed off.
No. I'm not answering any more of your questions.
Yes, you will.
I'll say
I
I have
know.
no control over it.
But it's only because I'm so lonely. Not sure which gun I'm gonna run yet, but I've got an M4 and an AK-15.
Nice. I picked up an extended AR mag for someone.
That's nice of you.
I've got one as well if somebody needs it.
I got jack shit. But I'm trying.
Someone finds a DMR barrel, that'd be awesome. Got a VKS.
I'd punch a puppy right now for a sniper.
Just foul.
Hmm. Looks like I am going to go 762.
Good choice.
Well, it was made for me.
I also got an attack stock for someone.
That
I
I
need
could
one.
use. Shit.
Holy 556.
God damn it. It's like I gotta try the Mosin again. Because I actually found one. Who's got what for snipers?
I got a mag.
VKS. Oh, I got a.
That's why you're looking for a barrel.
There's a G28 here, Steven.
Okay.
I'll have a flash hider for sniper.
I just dropped mine. When I picked up this Mosin. Jesus.
Well, if someone wants it, I have a sniper silencer.
Mm.
Yeah. If you still have it when I get over there.
That's
Hey, I got a barrel. I'll trade you.
sweet.
Look at that. Match is made in heaven.
That's you, Evil, right?
Yep.
Well, I'll just come over to you. Since I'm only on the other side of the river.
I still don't even have a grip. Crying out loud, where's this shit hiding?
I don't have a grip either.
But the scopes are like falling from the trees over here.
Got 8 times.
Yep.
Extra.
Want it? Sure do.
Yeah, buddy. You guys need 4
Well,
times.
I do need one.
Okay, I'll keep it.
I'm gonna head closer to the river.
Steven, I'm gonna drop the 8 times and some 2 times here to free up a little room. I'm pinning it. It's on top of the shed.
People there, I'm assuming. Ow. Glider didn't want to deploy. Hey, Evil, if you find more 50 cal ammo, let me know. That's right by you guys. Pink, orange mark.
Oh, I already used mine.
First floor.
I'm gonna leave the points things on it for you.
Okay.
Actually, I think I'm gonna leave everything except for the vest here for you. MG4, rockets, all that crap. Don't need any of it.
Does anybody still need a vert grip?
Yes.
Okay.
I have no
Ooh,
grip.
I've
getting
got one
shot
on
at.
me.
I'm heading back across
Above.
the river.
Alright, I'm heading that way.
He's hit twice.
Where is he?
He's flying. He's gliding in. He's there. There.
Are they still there?
Hit him. That tree.
I'm gonna drop in right behind them.
Yep, that tree. Two of them. That tree as well. Both are wounded.
Knocked him.
I don't see them.
Second one. Second one. Third one.
I hear him. Oh,
Third
there he
one
is.
there. Here.
Oh, there he is.
I hit him once.
I'm down, but he's dead. They're all down over here.
I got you, Evil. I hit him once, it was right at his neck, didn't get him in the head.
That
Good
goddamn
combo,
scorpion
fellas.
fucking hurts.
I didn't get any kills on it, but I got 3 hits with this crappy Mosin. Makes me happy, happy.
Yeah, I knocked a guy. Where was he?
I think he was
Well,
over here,
there's
wasn't he?
two or three over here, and one right over here.
Here, Steven. Here's the guy you knocked.
This guy has a
Oh, I
butt
already
stock
took
and
this
an
guy.
AR mag.
Yeah, I pissed this guy off.
Yeah, I just grabbed the mag. Do you want it?
I have an extra mag,
No.
so.
There's a foregrip on the ground here. Vert grip.
Yeah, I just grabbed one here.
Okay. Take that.
Just leave Steven the points on his guy. You
I
would.
already got it. I already got it. Thanks.
Aw, you're a
I
sweetheart.
don't. I'm done for the day.
Same.
I'll take the points if you guys don't need them.
I grabbed some of the points.
Yeah, I think they're all picked up for right now, aren't they? I'll leave you all of them if I get any kills. I'm maxed out for the day at my 99.
You know what? I'll take that MG4. Just for the hell of it. I got a cool skin for it.
Do it.
Where are they?
We're just heading down the balloon. Hop in.
I'm on you. Let's get it. Poor Arxon grabs it all.
I just want the armor, I can care less about anything else.
It's like, thanks for shooting it down, fellas.
There's an M200 on it, so.
Points for Stevie?
Nope. Stolen.
Arxon, what the fuck?
I need the points too.
God damn it.
He's not the only one.
Oh, you're getting blown up.
Who took the M200?
Not me.
Steven, did you grab it? Cause you
No.
left the ammo, homie.
I don't need it.
Arxon, you had to have grabbed it, homie.
Nope.
Did you dropped a
Oh, you know
Scorpion here.
That
That's
was not me.
mine. That was me.
I'll say that wasn't me.
Hmm.
There, I'll do that. You hear all that?
Yeah, I do.
Shots to the north too. Oh no, northeast.
Yep, right there. Hit. Not happy either.
Mark him again. Oh, I have no
Just
eyes
don't
on
steal
him.
their points.
Oh, at that building.
Gliders on me. Two of them. They circled. Three of them. Right there. I'm down, but so's one of them.
Damn.
One there. You must be one of Cinity's guys, aren't you?
I am, why?
Different play styles.
All right, gentlemen. I'm off to work. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah,
How'd that
man.
miss him?
I don't know, homie. I'm gonna bail for a little bit too, man. Oh, they're getting third party.
Yep. I'll let them deal with him.
Alright. You have a good night, brother.
You too.
Attention everyone. This helicopter will only stay for a short period of time. There are 4 seats. Please board as soon as possible. I repeat, there are only 4 seats. Please board as soon as possible. Three spots left. Two spots left. Can't wait any longer. All personnel on board. Prepare for takeoff. I repeat, prepare to take off.
Recently I found out that my mom's old desktop computer was no longer working, and with Christmas approaching I figured there was no better time to go ahead. The day when you went that it's just time for a new computer. It really doesn't need to be powerful at all. We're going to go with 7100, so that's not even the K version. We won't be overclocking. It's just a nice, very low power CPU that can get the job done for everyday tasks. RAM we're going with 8GB kit of ballistics, Corsair ballistics. Real simple, 2x4. Nothing crazy there either. For the Intel, we have the Intel SSD, 256 gig. That's a SATA version, so it's M.2, so it'll slide right in the motherboard, but it's not going to give you NVMe speeds. But it's really nice, still a rock solid drive that should be good for my mom and what she's trying to do. For the motherboard, we have your simple with a Ryzen chip here, and you have cutouts for antenna if you really need that, more ventilation, and USB 2.
everyone. This helicopter will only stay for a short period of time. There are 4 seats. Please board as soon as possible. I repeat, there are only 4 seats. Please board as soon as possible. Three seats left. Only 2 seats left. Can't wait any longer. All personnel on board, prepare for takeoff. I repeat, prepare for takeoff.
Ports, so that's cool. You do have some access to USB 2.0 or just USB in general if you want in the front there. Let's pop it open. Let's see what's inside. This is all aluminum, by the way. Nice solid aluminum, all metal. So in this side you see some cool stuff. So you have this up front, and you're probably wondering what that is. It's actually a power converter. So this has a built-in 120 watt power supply. So you just plug in your jack into this little cable here that slides on the side like that. Plug in your power brick and you're good to go. Same as a lot of systems I have built in, but this one has it actually built into the case, so that's really cool. You see your power connector up front, as well as your USB header here, and there's your headers for power switch and etc. Obviously, there's a lot of ventilation at the bottom, so if you have an M.2 drive, it shouldn't have any problem being cooled. And on the left side here, you can see you have mounts for two 60mm fans. I believe that's 60mm, which are nice on cool. So one of the cool things about dealing with Intel CPUs, if I can, with coolers. So in addition to the nice chip here, but for something like this, a 51 watt TDP chip, this is totally fine. I was gonna go out and get an aftermarket cooler, but a nice looking board, surprisingly. For an affordable board, it's got a nice black PCB. Here, USB-C, another set of two USB, an affordable. So just like that, we essentially have a full computer I/O shield, so that's pretty sweet. Okay, so I have everything pretty much installed. The last step is connecting the 24 pin here. So this is interesting. It has a 20 pin on this side and it goes to a 24 pin here. I haven't seen that kind of connection in a while, but it has also a peripheral kind of cable that hangs off with two SATA cables and an old, I guess, hard drive or floppy disk, all routed in a nice direction, and just makes jobs a lot easier. And I really think that's weird noises from the fan. PC is supposed to be super quiet. We have a mini i6 cooler. It'll fit $8. Put them both on their sides. Take that off. And here is the bigger version in black. L9. Disassemble this. Airflow in there. Get the USB 2.0 header. So the power supply, you kind of see. M.2 drive will have some attached. You kind of see. So we might as well just go ahead and pop it. The big. It's a brand new computer.
Oh my goodness! Are you serious? Oh, that is so.
With the build, as you saw, like night and day. Obviously, I'll drop links for everything you saw in the description below. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or on the website. As always, I'm Jay. This is Tech Everything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Last year, I built a systems which you can contact cables is that. So I have all black because I just like the way that all black looks, nice and sleek. But you could do black, red, green, purple. You can do a rainbow. That he makes here are the original cables. So this is what you're dealing with if you go with the stock set. All this mass, a bundle of wires here that has to be stuffed inside this ultra compact case by itself. You almost have to get custom cables for this case. Here, boot drive, so one 500 gig for. We have games and because only can use them. In our SF450. Supposedly it's even better and quieter than the. Stick with this guy. This should be fine. It's going to be more powerful than a 1080 Mini, of course, and I'll offer some RTX support. Get everything honestly, having that extra storage is really day, but quicker than that. In a couple weeks, I'll be building in this.
That's better.
Today, as promised, Colombian huge history of both entrances. I think. Look. Hello, this is the small guy. You see, that is in how much time he got left, and I don't know if next small she will be big enough, so work out somehow. Yes, and I will also show you the refugee, the Himalayana tarantula. I don't remember the genus name. She also did something similar. You see, she webbed up around and she basically went under the cork bark, as I assumed. You see, she webbed the entrance and everything. So yeah, both females definitely settle in really nice, and that is always a good sign. Situation is, this is the current state. You see water here and water here, and there is one tube that is going like this, and you might be wondering what the hell is that tube doing. The reason is, I don't know what is wrong with this water, but from this area the water is constantly going through the background here. But the funny thing is, the water level here will just rise, and here it will drop. And I don't understand, if there is more water here, why isn't that water traveling the same way back? I don't get it, why it works only in that way. It doesn't make any sense. But what the hell? Felix, is that you're doing? Where is Felix? Felix? Oh, there he is. Felix, stop hiding. Okay. So here, look. And there is one sexy booty. Oh yeah. Don't want mushrooms in our enclosures. Even though this one is actually really cool. Yeah, whatever. No mushrooms allowed. But usually, ready for some action, are you? Oh, already on the move, huh? Let me set up the situation, the perimeter. A bit closer. Dump the mail here. That should work, right? Actually, first we need a bigger picture, like this. This would be so much easier if I had a camera. Hey, dude, you scare me, man. What the hell? Chill. You're going in the wrong direction. Yeah. Wait. Okay. No. How can I convince him to actually relax? Dude, I need your complete cooperation. Yes, there you go. There you go, bud. Okay, wait, stop. No, don't be so fast. Oh, come on, man. Dude, wait. What is he doing? Dude, it is already going down. Wait. Can you come outside, please? Oh, hello, beautiful. Oh, no. I don't think that was the smartest move, dude. How will you run now? You now blocked off yourself. Then approach. Look. Where is the guy? Hey, come on. Come out. This is already dead. Please. Oh. Ooh, we have really nice look. Oh. Come on, man. Was that really necessary? Look how disappointed she looks. So disappointed. Are you crazy? What can I do now? Come on. Are you crazy? What? Not good. Where did he? Oh no, you won't. Don't move. Okay. Now you're right where you need to be. Drum please first. No, not like that. With candle and flowers, please. Don't just rush in. Jesus. Do I really need to tell you everything? You never rush on a girl like... Oh. Okay. Oh. Oh, holy moly. You did not sign up for that, huh? Oh no. Rather go? Shoot. So I will let you go. Do it, huh? Not disappoint. Okay. No. Okay. Your escape route is set once again. Now let's do this calmly, please. Maybe I should take the... Although honestly, I don't... If she goes for him, there's no way I can react fast enough. No, not in the... Oh, dude, come on. Wants to so... I'm sure you were interested with... I cannot decide that much on the female and cannot really do that. Almost as she will catch him, grab him. Yeah, they sometimes do crazy stuff and I can't wait to make new enclosure. And in fact, I got glass for them. And this, you see, this will be top lit. So you see, really, really large. It will be a big enclosure. Talking about before, Wolfurist. If you did thumbs up.
Some being as well as collapse being replaced fairly in time. How does that work? Oh, which got to on 6.
Just under an hour, it's put on a stand and wheeled over to the operating table. Cue the time lapse.
Right, so now's the moment of truth. The engine's been stripped of all its ancillaries and now it's time to open it up and have a look.
So we've removed the rear iron from the engine and we've actually found that the engine has been bridge ported. It's got a slight street port on the auxiliary port. The exhaust port should have been ported because the intake port has been done, but it's actually still stock, which is surprising. A street port is an advance on the intake port and a slight tweak on the exhaust port just to get the exhaust gases out a little bit quicker. And what you're doing by adjusting the intake timing is you're getting more air and fuel into the engine and more exhaust gases out quickly, therefore creating a little bit more power. A bridge port is actually cutting away a little eyebrow. The apex seal runs around the edge of the rotor housing. From cutting this eyebrow, you're actually giving it a little bridge for the apex seal to go across. So if you cut this whole section out, the apex seal will just drop into the port. Adding this section, there wouldn't be any point unless you made a chamfer in the rotor housing as well. The face itself doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's been quite hot around the exhaust port, but nothing too major. It's become clear that the rotor bearing slipped badly.
So we can actually say we've spun a bearing?
Yeah, it's spun a bearing. So there's like a little locating pin on the bearing itself and that should be located here. So the housings are pretty chattered. And there's actually, the chrome is actually starting to come away on this outer edge. This is usually caused by poor lubrication on the seals. Because the chrome has started to come away, you can't even resurface them. Yeah, that's...
Okay, that's the technical term, is it?
Yeah, proper, well and truly. You can see the bearing's supposed to sit flush up to that edge. So because the bearing has been spinning inside that journal inside, the rotor's going to be scrap as well. You can see the copper coming through and the bearing's actually moved backwards inside the rotor. The bearing shouldn't ever move as it's got a locating pin inside the rotor. So it should be sat flush into the actual journal of the rotor, and the locating pin should be sat in there, and it should never be able to rotate.
Yeah. So we can agree that I've bought a very good car, but a very poor engine.
A lot normally due to detonation. That is caused by an engine getting too hot or using poor quality fuel. It's a half bridge part. So if you were to do a full bridge part, you'd do the ones on the front iron, the ones on the rear iron, and you'd also bridge the so replacing it for a rotor. Looks okay. It looks like there's been a little bit of blow by around the side seal and the corner seals. If you look down the side of the corner seal, you can see like a little black mark where the exhaust gas has been passing past. So that's actually caused by the side seal clearance between the side seal and the corner seal, the clearance being too large. So if you cut the side seal too short, the side seal moves side to side and leaks. What happens is front rotor, they use an oil metering system. People that are still using 530 engine oil. Bearing failure.
Exactly. If you've got an RX-8, then 1040 millers.
Yep,
Part
semi-synthetic is the way to go,
Yeah.
in our opinion anyway. Another thing you can do, Mazda added the third oil injector to lubricate the seals a little bit more, and what you can actually do, add two-stroke oil to the fuel tank. What that does is just adds a little bit of lubrication within the fuel.
And rule of thumb is 150 mil of 2 strokes for every tank of fuel, right?
That's your front stationary gear bearing. You can see that nice little copper colour again. So yeah, that bearing's shot. Centre right.
If you guys are pretty buggered, but fear not, because it's going to be rebuilt by the guys at Rotary Revs.
Editia Vas Louis, because you, my friend, are now the owner of the most awesome desk ornament.
Welcome back to episode number 4 of Living with a Rotary. I'm back here at Rotary Revs, and
as we discussed,
these are all nice and Vaselined up. And again, one of these is actually original from the car.
That's right, that's the one you're holding right there. We've cleaned off all the carbon in all the seal channels on the rotor faces and replaced the bearing. And we put new O-rings in the oil control rings, as well as new springs underneath them. And put new side seals in and new corner.
Is it different to bridge?
We do a bit of polishing on the intake ports as well. And it's mainly on the secondary ports, which is this one here. They're both fuel and air street port. It's the first thing that goes on. And we give it a nice, healthy serving of lube. Look at that. Spread it all around, nice even coverage. I tend to wipe just a little bit around the edge as well. Help it slide into the bore. Now sometimes this will require tapping. There we go. And then we grab a bolt, just the one bolt, to hold it in place. Otherwise I'll flip this around and it'll fall out. Back round, first things first, more lube. Now, put lube on the face as a means to protect everything during its first startup. If we were to put it on dry, obviously there'd be a lot of friction as it's turning over, and then before any of the engine oil gets into the critical areas like the bearings, you just see it's solid or do a lot of damage. Now the rotor, same again, healthy supply of engine lube all the way around the bearing. Comes the E-shaft. Bearings are already lubricated, so it should just go straight in with no resistance. There we go. Once again, as a precautionary measure, just to make sure the corner seals are aligned. Couple of dowels. I just put a bit of regular engine oil on them. This just helps the housing to slide onto them, again without any resistance. Just put them in there. Just give them a little rub of some oil. Okay, now housing. I've already put the coolant seals in, and we're going to apply some silicone sealant on the feet. Just a nice little bead on the feet right there, right on the sealant channels. But one good thing to note is end of the corner seal that has the corner piece attached. What I want to do
Do you think I've already caused complete engine failure?
I do.
So he slides like so.
Yep. Just make sure that the top of the spring is actually tucked
Inside?
into the,
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. He's happy.
Right.
Have my little
Hold on to that.
health
Slide it
spring there.
down just a little bit.
Slide this. Yep.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay, that should be just about it.
You want to push the apex seal down a little bit more.
We're good there, no?
Just a bit more. So basically, pinch the, if you can, pinch the short spring and slide that up along the apex seal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There we go.
Right, now slide on in.
All the way to the bottom.
That's it.
There we go. So for anyone who will be owning this car in the future, if your engine fails, you're welcome. It was probably...
So if you have the tedious part of, don't really run the risk of it running down. This is the tedious bit because some people just get stuck. So like, they'll get to this point and be like, what do I do now? Sometimes people get a second person to do it, but we've done this enough times that we just do it like that. It's all dependent on how you position the rotor on the iron. What I tend to do is, if it's like this, I have the rotor pointing towards the ports basically. As the centre iron comes down, it tilts like that, and yeah, there's just enough space for it to lift the E-shaft a little bit, and it won't actually contact where the sealant is. Almost there.
Almost there.
There we go.
Nice.
You can use a little soft hammer for this, which is what I normally do, but I'm a big man now. Once again, how the opposite rotor's going to face. It's a nice, simple engine to work on. There's no tap hits or anything like that. There's plenty of enthusiasts that enjoy doing little home builds and things like that. The application. So with combustion chamber. That's nice.
That's a nice solid bead, that, isn't it? That's what you want. You want a good solid bead.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Okay.
I'm all about the bead.
Once again with a lube.
Yeah.
Some people do it like this. Like Picasso and Salt Bay. I like to do it like this. Or both. There's no.
Or both, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with both.
There's no right or wrong.
There's not, as long as there's some lube.
Yeah, you go both ways, and that's.
There we go.
Cool.
But we're not done just yet.
We're not.
We need to seal the deal.
Yeah.
All of the tension bolts. What I do is I apply a bit of oil to the end of the threads. Just take away any friction upon assembly. In a bit. Goodbye. See ya. Adios. And then we do the same with all the rest of them. All 18 tension bolts hold this block together. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We start at 29 Newton meters, and we go to 34 Newton meters, and then we do 39. And the reason why it's in 3 stages is because you could do all of these the first time round to, I don't know, say 25 Newton meters. And then when you go back to the bolt you started at, it wouldn't be that torque anymore. It's just because it's not being torqued down all at once, so there's stages. It's pretty boring, is this?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Oh, did you hear that pop in there?
Yeah.
That is the corner piece breaking away from the main body of the Apex seal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're held down with like super glue from factory, just so obviously it makes it easy to assemble. All the aftermarket Apex seals, they don't actually come with them bonded, they come separate. If you lose that tiny little bit. Oh, there goes another.
So you got another pass and then a final pass, right?
That's right, yep. Right, so now we've got to secure the rear stack gear using these 12 mils. I usually apply a little bit of Loctite on them, even though they have a spring washer to help hold them in place. Just a bit of security there.
What's the torque setting?
The torque setting is 22 Newton meters, and it's the same for the front gear as well, despite the bolts being slightly longer. Yep, just tapping the keyway in place. Just like that. Flywheel, all clean. No clutch dust. Alright, so we put a bit of sealant on the flange of this flywheel nut, just because Mazda said so. Happy days. There we in you go. Alright, so flywheel locking tool does what it says on the tin. Mazda specifies for this flywheel nut between 390 and 490 Newton meters. More torque than the engine. There we go. You want to hear that before you start struggling. Flip it real good. Right, now this is the part where we do the front stack. So that bolt we put in, we take it out now because there's no risk of it falling out.
I got some Lynx shower gel in my eye last night. Really stings. Like really bad. Almost as bad as petrol.
Is that an integral part of this engine build?
No, it's just a conversation.
Well,
you know what? I'm feeling lucky today. I'm going to go for a C.
C what?
C spacer. They're graded from A to E. A giving you the least movement, and then E giving you most. All right, so we'll put that down there. Then comes your Torrington bearing. I have no idea who Torrington is. We spin it like a little Beyblade. Make sure there's oil in it. Then we've got this plate. Has to go on before you bolt the gear down. Goes right here.
There we go.
Similar to the rear Loctite on these bolts, but chronic bearing. What I do now, wind on in. Right, so the front bolt is not as high as the rear nut. Mazda say, torque it to 300 Newton meters for testing the end plate. Why did I say it like that? They're not American. Right, so I've set up the dial gauge, and what we're doing here is measuring the end play of the full rotating assembly.
And what are we looking for?
A lot more movement than that. We are currently getting a reading of 0.01 of a millimeter, which is pretty tight. We want to be seeing something between 0.04 mil and 0.09. So we've got to have a bit more clearance, so we have to go on to a couple of sizes more. We've got a C spacer in there, so we'll probably have to go for a D or an E. Get out the D. It's about right.
About 6, is it? 0.6?
Yeah, thereabouts. I'm happy with that. OL pump. This is ink itself. Nothing fancy. Solid aluminium.
Install all the ancillaries, fit a new clutch because the old one was buggered, and then wheel the brand new rotary engine back over to Felix for the final step.
It's now 7:37 in the evening. We've been working on this car for like 7 hours. Sterling job. Engine's in, everything's in, oil, coolant. Now is the moment of the truth. Now we're going to fire up this RX-8 engine for the very first time. It's fresh. What are we expecting? To start first time?
Sometimes the idle hunt a little bit. Other times it'll go straight up to where it normally is. That's what I'm expecting, just because it's a street port. Sometimes there's quite a lot of smoke where it fills the workshop. Other times it's just like a noticeable amount of smoke coming out. Yeah. And that's basically all your assembly lubricants and Vaseline burning off.
We have takeoff. Oh my God, how smooth does that sound? That is so smooth. So smooth. It's amazing, impressive, really impressed.
Again, with varying loads.
Yeah.
Take oil. It's in here. What we recommend is is on, so we can mount the car to the hub dyno. The reason why we use the hub dyno is because it's safer. If ever we get a high powered car, there's no chance of tyres slipping or anything like that affecting figures and just tuning in general. Not as cool as a rolling road, granted, but it's a bit more of a scientific way of getting power down. More accurate way of getting power down as well. With hub dynos as well, if you had the capacity, you could optimize things like launch control and traction control systems in general. The only real niggle with hub dynos is just setup. It takes a bit longer.
So you've had yours on the dyno here, right?
Multiple times, yeah. Mine is a first race extension prototype. That put down 195 wheel horsepower. The Bridgeport is exactly the same on the race extension, but what makes it a race extension is the exhaust ports. They've been enlarged beyond what Mazda originally made them, and they're beyond what a street port template can offer as well. So it's completely done by hand. Everything's custom, and like I say, it's all trial and error at the moment. All the parts in it are shite. You know, shattered housings, second-hand seals and a lot. But what was most convincing was that despite that, it made a good figure, which is why I still think that the idea is going to be quite good. One of the most noticeable things about the race extension is that it's very revvy. Like, there's obviously a lot of flow out of the engine for it to rev that high and be so responsive. Still exploring.
What I'll do is, once I've optimised that sort of side of the fueling, and then give it a few.
Just show me now.
It's just right into ECU. Did it have a cold limit on it before?
No.
I've just put one on it. When the engine's below 65 degrees, it won't go above 5,000 RPM.
Okay. How does it cut out? Is it like a...
No, it's like a limiter.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, wow!
We call it a mini-map package. So like if someone's got the D585 coils, we'll do the ignition dwell, fan temperatures. It's the little things that count, and pops and bangs obviously.
Yeah! Amazing! Oh! Can you get rid of that really annoying
beep? Nope.
D then switches on the monstrous ventilation system, which, as you can see, drops the temperature to Arctic levels.
It's blowing a bloody girl in there, I tell you.
Unable to feel my body, I resorted to cardio, which is one of my least favourite things to do.
We've done the steady state part of the tuning session. We can set the dyno to hold at a certain RPM, meaning that we can run through each load cell, checking fueling in each cell rather than just checking it for wide open throttle. This means that we can get the short-term fuel trims to as close to zero as we can, which aids a nicer drive, sharper throttle response and better fuel economy, as well as making more power. So we're flashing the first revision of the map now. It's just finished. I'm going to go through, check all the bits that I've just done, make sure all the changes did what I wanted them to do, and then we're going to move on to some wide open throttle tuning, see if we can get some flames. It's making more than it was last time at 5,000 RPM, and you've still got 3,000 RPM left.
As D starts to open the taps, and with Felix successfully starting to ignite his heavy breath with flames, progress was quickly halted because something wasn't right.
It's wanting a lot of fuel at the top, and the AFR is starting to lean out as we go further up.
Is that what, fuel pump?
Maybe.
Trying to diagnose the issue and praying that it wasn't a broken fuel pump, the guys check the injectors hoping for an easy fix. But luck does not seem to be on our side today.
Alright, so what's the verdict?
It's yeah, proper.
So we've got, what, 170 wheel horsepower
Yep, at 7,000 RPM.
And we've got another 2 grand to go.
Yeah, we think the fuel pump's
Is what? Ah, right, okay. So there's no more we can do, but we do have pops and bangs.
Yep.
The fuel, forget. Oh my god!
So we've got the Cytec E85 pump, but obviously we're in the UK, we don't have that. This is a fuel pump that's compatible with a lot of high performance fuels, and it moves a lot more fuel than the stock pump. This is 300 litres per hour, so it's more than enough for an NA RX-8. I think that is proper bang now.
While Josh and I celebrate the new fuel pump, Teddy starts piecing together the lovely new Petit Racing exhaust, which should make Felix snap, crackle, and pop like a champ.
Kind of a good car if you can fit. So now the only thing that's left to do is to start it up and listen to the exhaust for the first time. This is going to make it sound completely different, right?
This is going to be nothing like you've ever heard a rotary before.
All right, go, 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 go.
Let's do this! That's different, isn't it?
That is very different. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It gets me every time.
With the car on the dyno, D jumps in to make some final adjustments to the RX-8's tune, and then flames. Top power figure of 194.2 wheel horsepower. But bear in mind, this is Rotary Rev's hub dyno. To work out the exact power and torque increases, we need to head back to Surrey Rolling Road, where we got our original figure of 162.9 horsepower at the flywheel, which we'll do later in the episode.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to race the Rotary. 162.9 horsepower. And today is a new day. I've got a bit of Felix at the.
I'll do 3 runs then, 3 pulls, and I am going to rev the tits of it this time.
Excellent.
Which will please those of you who spotted that Charlie limited Felix's last runs to around 8,000 RPM, because he wasn't confident that the broken Rotary could take any more.
Do me proud.
Have I missed something? Charlie must be playing with me, right?
You haven't finished.
Well, yeah. Not sure what's going on there.
Really?
Yeah. It's not right.
What's not right?
You've got this big hole. You get to like 6'8",
Yeah.
and this just flattens off. Paracord just flattens off, and then it jumps up. But something's not quite right there.
Interesting. Not what anyone expected.
No. But it didn't feel misfiring to me. Fueling's all good, and my map and everything.
I called, you guessed it, Josh. Who
Yeah. Thoughts doing nothing but pops and bangs. On the way home from Bradford. On the way here. Something's gone wrong. Rotaries are awesome in principle, but in reality, not so awesome.
spending £12 on a part, the problem was
this SSV, or the secondary shutter valve solenoid, that's buggered. The SSV is situated at the back here. It's the second one down with a white connector, so I've just changed that. But yeah, hopefully this will fix it. Rotary fun.
This will be interesting to RPM.
Click this link to subscribe. Lovely R3, you'll recognise this car. Now in today's episode,
Anyway, let's do something I haven't done in a long time. Drive the nuts off street-ported Felix, because for the first time in a long time, things are looking good. Yep, that's right.
we have a working rotary, people. I've been reading quite a few of your comments. Lots of people loving the series so much.
Exact seats.
You can put actual humans behind me. I'm not talking like short people like me. I'm talking...
There's one elephant. Felix's street-ported 13B is doing us very proud.
Yay! This is probably one of the best engines in the UK right now. Gear, 9,000 RPM, get it in.
Today on Scumbag Labs, we see if we can make our own electric boost.
Wired 2A. I like that. You could have acid dipped it. They rust dipped it for us.
Ooh.
4-speed. So
4-speed.
We need that.
Oh.
Safety third.
Oh. All right, boys. Predictions.
I'm in 13.5.
112 to the hub, 13 in the 8th.
All right, let's do this.
Wow. This thing smells like a circus.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? You ready?
Hell yeah.
Ron, you're coming with me. Let's go.
All right, so this is John Chase's control run.
Is that the burnout? It burns out!
It sounds like he's on launch control, but he's actually just trying to drive.
Whoa, all right.
John, what happened?
Were you flooring it? Yeah, I was floored, dude.
It sounded like you were on launch control, but for the whole run.
Yeah, when I got second gear, it did a little bit better for like 10 feet, and then it started popping. I threw it in third, but really, what the question is, what was the 8th mile?
We need Turdo's predictions. Your prediction, sir.
110. I'm gonna shoot high, man.
All right, no, I respect it. I respect it. You're the driver, so you know what the car has.
113.
113?
Wow, all right. What about times? All right, so I think 15.
15?
15-2.
15-2?
15-2.
I'll say 14.
12.
Wow. 12s?
12.
He's real proud of his own work. I'm gonna go 95 horsepower, 13s in the 8th mile.
13.
Boom shakalaka.
He's hitting the button on this one.
We made more power.
Right on the second one.
Made more power.
All right, so now we got to see if the more power actually gets us faster down the drag strip.
In this car. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Send it. Do us all a favor. Put it into the wall.
Oh, the handbrake works. You just gotta pull it up real high.
He's waiting it.
Oh, maybe not.
It doesn't work.
Hey, there you go. You're fine.
All right, here we go. Scumbag Labs. All right, so this is John Chase's run on the fans and
on the dip.
On the dip, full dip, full dip.
No brakes. There's no brakes. Right there.
Oh!
Yeah!
Oh! Oh, John can't stop.
You really can't
Really
stop.
can't stop.
Oh my God.
13-7.
John, please tell me, if from where we were, it looked like you had to use the wall to stop.
Well, because there's people on this side of the track. You usually don't return back to the line on
the
track.
actual strip.
So
But
they
this
were
is
sitting
Scumbag
here,
Labs.
and they weren't really paying attention. And I mean, I could have killed it, but then the car didn't start again. So I did the only noble thing I did. I put it into the wall to stop it. To save my friends' lives.
Took my advice.
See?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think you ran on that pass?
I don't know. 25.
25?
16. What'd it go?
You're saying 16?
16.
16, 25.
Yeah, what'd he run?
All right, let him know.
He did a 13-7.
Whoa!
Yeah!
We actually made more power.
We made more power.
And we went faster. So, more power on the dyno, faster down the 8th. Guys, I think we did it.
This is a success.
I don't know if Teague agrees. Confirmed. Made more power.
In gear. Oh, that was all.
Guys good? That's actually not bad at all. Actually kind of fun.
anti-tank rifle. The days of a rifle like this being a feasible weapon against an actual tank are long, long gone. This is instead intended to be, well, an anti-material rifle, and in particular, it's intended to be a man-portable anti-material rifle. So we'll get into disassembly in a moment. Actually have basically cannon firepower at their disposal. So if you look at the cartridge, of course it is a little shorter. Muzzle velocity is a little lower than something like a 20 by 138. However, the whole purpose of a 20 millimeter projectile is the explosive effect of the warhead. And that's not velocity dependent. That the cartridges are held nice and steady. And then, more substantially, here at the back, there is actually like a T-slot at the back of the magazine. And when you put the cartridge in, when you drop this down to put a second cartridge in, the rim is actually held firmly in place by these. Then the action itself is a manual bolt action. Then bolt opens, slides all the way back, ejects the cartridge, loads a new one. That's pretty basic and simple. One potential issue you run into with a cartridge like this, not so much the 20 millimeter, but much more so the 14.5, is difficult extraction. So there's a specific primary extraction mechanism built into the gun. So right here is the opposite side of the bolt handle itself. And when you go to open the gun, the bolt handle actually slides. Well, I have to actually hold the bolt in place to do this. The handle itself is on a spring and it pivots. And this bar pushes against this surface right here, and that gives you primary extraction. That gives you like an 8-to-1 leverage advantage in prying the case out of the chamber first and then cycling the whole thing open. And it's going to go straight through your face, and that's a problem. So an 8-to-1 leverage advantage thing to this rifle. And you may have noticed that the scope's really far forward on the gun. Now, if you're shooting a 20 millimeter like this, one of the big concerns is, of course, the scope is going to come back and it's going to go straight through your face, and that's a problem. So what Denell did on this was they actually contracted out a custom, specifically made scope for this gun. In general, done that with a fair amount of drop. This is a way that you can just easily dial in the range, and then you still have the actual scope adjustments to fine-tune it, to fine the cartridge. It's exerted equally between these two screws. Slot in it so you can tighten it with pretty much anything, like a knife. And once you take it out, it just locks in the back. So unscrew it, and the whole thing drops out. Get the light on this well. So there is a nub right here, and then there's an adjustable screw right here. The nub provides the first stage. This screw determines the length and the break, basically, of. That's an important, a single spring. Actually a cutout right in the middle of the thread. And then mechanical break. Those pins are located fighting the hammer when you operate the bolt, which leads to it having a particularly nice, smooth, high explosive tracer. We have plain high explosive. These are all dummy cartridges. And we have semi armor piercing high explosive. So kind of a compromise combination round. Well, that's good.
The Galaxy Fold, an ambitious new take on what smartphones can do and what Galaxy Fold version started. Also, don't attach anything to the main screen, no screen protectors, and keep the Fold away from objects affected by magnets, like credit cards. Those all seem like pretty big issues to me. Cell phones are quite possibly some of the most accidentally abused pieces of technology on the planet, and Samsung's, they're telling us not to touch it very hard. Not very confidence-inducing. Before we commence the first fold, let's see what's inside the box. Underneath the phone holder, we have a note written in what looks like Korean. Google Translate on my Galaxy S8 Plus shows that it's another little hype paragraph for the phone. The Galaxy Fold also comes with a case, a very thin Galaxy earbuds, and the normal USB-C charger. Let's get back to the Fold. Right off the bat, this thing definitely feels good. It feels solid, well engineered, and very well planned out. Even without folding it yet, there is a visible crease running down the center of the display. It's not as visible when the screen is turned on, but still definitely there. Now this is only the second folding smartphone I've ever come across in real life. But while folding, it's definitely the better feeling of the two. The hinge makes the phone feel like it's supposed to bend, easily and smoothly, and then softly clicks into the closed position, and is held shut with its magnets. And it does all this very gently. When I would fold the Royal FlexPi hinge, the foldable phone I tested previously, it was more of a spring that always wanted to stay in the open position, and it did not want to fold on its own free will. The Galaxy Fold feels much more natural. Honestly, if this phone survives the durability test, I might even switch to it as my daily driver. It feels pretty awesome. The Fold also has a much smaller profile than the FlexPi. The Royal FlexPi, seen here in its very well-loved condition, it has a much larger footprint than the Galaxy Fold when it's opened, as well as when it's closed. As a matter of fact, the closed FlexPi is as big as the Galaxy Fold is when it's opened, and both of them have some very strong magnets inside. So as far as, form factor goes when talking about phones, I think the Galaxy Fold comes out on top. Its smaller design makes it get to in just a second. Tell the difference between different minerals and materials. Phone, even though this phone is anything but normal. Let's mosey on into the at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. Pretty normal for a smartphone, even though this phone is anything but normal. Let's mosey on into the inner display. This thing is much larger, at 7.3 inches. With all of Samsung's warnings about the inner display and the previous recall due to display fragility, we kinda knew this was coming. But still, seeing scratches at a level 2 with deeper grooves at a level 3 kinda just hurts a little. The Galaxy Fold has a screen hardness comparable to Play-Doh, soggy bread, or a $2,000 stick of chewing gum. Even my fingernail can do considerable damage to the screen. Granted, we knew the display would need to be made from soft plastic since glass doesn't bend too well, but it's still unfortunate that there's no way to safely add a screen protector. You might be asking yourself, but what happens if dirt or sand from my pocket gets caught between the two halves of the phone when it gets closed? Won't that damage the screen? And most definitely, if the grain of sand or piece of dirt is big enough, it will definitely leave an indentation on either side of the screen. There is a small gap between the two halves, so dust and dirt could slip out, but that same gap could also allow for stuff to slip in. So if you get this phone, it might be a good idea to vacuum out your pockets every morning before you put on your pants. Samsung did say this phone is not dust resistant whatsoever, and I believe them, and you believe them. But I don't think dust believes them or is going to play by their rules. So let's see what happens if you tap on top of the screen. There's now sand permanently grinding inside of the phone hinge, which is unfortunate. The screen has a few new minor nicks, scratches, and divots, but it's still amazing how quickly the dust got inside the phone. I understand this was a lot of little rocks, but still, the phone's only been alive for about 5 minutes. I thought the newly added hinge lips were supposed to help keep dust out. Watch mechanics, with a lot of little to look at how the hinge works from the inside during the teardown. The frame of the Galaxy Fold is made from metal, along with both the power button and volume rocker, both metal. At the top of the phone we find a microphone hole and a loudspeaker grill. And right about here is where we see the unfortunate gravity of soft displays. Did you catch that? Let's rewind a little and watch that again. While I'm rotating the phone, the tip of my razor catches the raised lip around the edge of the dynamic AMOLED display and pops the pixels like a marshmallow on a roasting stick, literally killing an entire line of pixels across the screen on the Galaxy Fold. One wrong move, one little accident, and now the whole top section of my phone is dead. Pixels, as well as touch sensitivity. The whole thing has gone kinda haywire, all from that one little prick. This would never happen inside of a normal phone, and now the Fold screen doesn't even want to turn on half the time, and we haven't even gotten to the bin test yet. I'm not a huge fan of this new development. The Fold does have a SIM card tray, but no expandable memory. At least this tray has a rubber ring. Okay with it. The center articulated spine of the Galaxy Fold is made from metal. It's also interesting to note that Samsung has carved their logo and inlaid little reflective letterings inside each of the little grooves. This usually looks super cool for about the first year or so, and then the letters fall out. We've seen it happen on some of the old school Nexus phones. The back panel is made 16 megapixel wide angle phone open to the internal camera. Back is actually just fine. Shout out to D-Brand's latest limited edition robot skin. It's got a pretty awesome eye-catching design that proves you can look awesome on the outside even if you are kinda dead on the inside. I'll leave a link in the description so you can see what your phone looks like with the robot installed. And not sensing touch other times. That little poke really did some unfortunate damage. I don't think the lighter is going to make things any better, but with the semi-dead screen and a hinge that sounds like a pepper grinder, I don't think we have much left to lose. After about 7 seconds, I could see the pixels going white and starting to burn, but as soon as I pulled the lighter away, they completely recovered. It's interesting that the plastic on top of the screen is not bubbling or melting, like we saw in the flexible display watch, or some of the other plastic screen devices we've tested. I burned the screen again for about 10 more seconds, and still no damage to the plastic, just the interior pixels. Shutting the phone and flipping it around to check the front screen, it lasted a bit longer, at 15 seconds with the heat from my lighter. Glass absorbs some of the heat before it reaches the pixels. Now you can bring up that cool tidbit at parties. The screen does completely recover. Now for the bin test. In perfect, factory-enclosed pristine conditions, folded by robots, Samsung's hinge is rated to over 200,000 folds, which means if the fold gets folded an absurd 200 times a day, it would still last you almost 3 years. In a non-pristine environment, of course, and one contact with a spoonful of dirt, it lasts about 20 folds before the hinge starts sounding like a crumpled up bag of potato chips. But let's say we were to accidentally on purpose bend the phone the wrong direction. We already know that the Royal Flex Pi survived for a while even after the hinge broke, so let's see what happens to the Galaxy Fold. Flipping the phone around to bend it backwards, and I apply some force. Surprisingly, the hinge remains intact. This is kind of a huge surprise. The last folding phone snapped backwards pretty easily, and even the iPad Pro broke easier than this. Samsung's Galaxy Fold might have a few glaring weak points, but the articulating hinge is definitely not one of them. The whole phone still folds in the correct direction, but when folded back the wrong way, all I get is a gentle curve, but no permanent damage. The hinge is just as strong as Samsung's normal, non-folding flagships. Pretty incredible. The antenna line is cracking along the frame, but the hinge itself is still 100% functional, and the device is still in one piece. This is a tough one. How should we categorize the Galaxy Fold? The structure of the phone is still intact, but the inner screen is basically unusable from that accidental poke I made earlier. Should we say the Galaxy Fold passes the durability test, or failed? Let me know down in the comments. Personally, I think when Samsung figures out how to seal the hinge from dust, and find a way to allow screen protection, this foldable phone format is going to be a winner.